Hello and welcome to Behind the Music for Daily Hope. We're continuing on with our Ruth series, and we're learning about how God is always there with us. He leads us on paths that we may not have planned, or we are not able to always see what's coming, but we can always trust Him to be there for us. And so there was a hymn that's been going through my head quite a bit as we were talking about Ruth and things. All the way my Savior leads me. Now you might know it as an old hymn. There's also been some more contemporary arrangements of it, but the words have stood the test of time. It was written in 1875 by Fanny Crosby. Now, Fanny Crosby, you probably know the name. She was a very prolific writer. When she was 6 weeks old, her parents noticed there was something wrong with her eyes, and their doctor was out of town, and so they called someone else who said they were a doctor, and this doctor did a poultice on her eyes that, in hindsight, no pun intended, probably is the reason why she lost her sight. Either way, she grew up, she was blind. She could see light and dark, but she wasn't able to read or write or drive or do any of the things that we do with our eyes that we take for granted. But she was able to write and express herself through words and things. And so she writes about why she wrote this song, All the Way My Savior Leads Me. She was in need of money. She specifically needed $5 for something very important, and she had no idea where she was going to find the money for that. And then she thought to herself, she said, I've come this far in life. God has always been there for me, all the way. He must have a purpose. We know that He has the resources available. I'm going to pray, and I'm going to trust." And she did. And she was very specific in her prayer to God. And she said, "God, I need $5. And she writes that somebody came to visit, someone she didn't know, a stranger. She said they shared pleasantries, basically passed the time of day. And then when he left, he shook her hand and away he went. Well, she felt something in her hand. And so she asked, she always had someone accompany her because she was blind. She said, "What's in my hand?" And they said, "That's $5. And so right there from a stranger, what exactly she had asked for. And she was so moved by that experience that she wrote this hymn, All the Way My Savior Leads Me. Listen to these words. All the way my Savior leads me, what have I to ask beside? Can I doubt His tender mercy, who through life has been my guide? Heavenly peace, divinest comfort, here by faith in Him to dwell, for I know whate'er befall me, Jesus doeth all things well. So as we're reading more about the story of Ruth and Naomi, having the faith and the trust to just go where they don't have really anything for them, but trusting for God to lead and be there all the way. I hope if you know this song that you'll enjoy singing it. If not, you'll be learning it in the next couple of weeks, and I know it'll become one of your favorites. This hymn by Fanny Crosby. Enjoy.